Well, the title on this video probably is going to be a little bit of a catchy title. Maybe it's a clickbait, but no, not really, because I'm going to talk about the Soros and Rothschild factor a little bit. Yeah, here's the silver gang waiting for what's up ahead in the future. We want to know. That's for really what. That's kind of like us right here. Now, I'm going to also tell you that I noticed something before I even get into the silver video. I noticed something. I know YouTube or whatever it is, Google, whatever they are. The government, whoever owns them, has stated that they don't want any unadvertiser-friendly, controversial type things on, the airwaves on this video, whatever. Now, I noticed like a lot of stuff I've been getting picked up on, and they're going through manual reviews, and I noticed it getting really strict. So, if it turns out that silver videos are always going to get gigged, I'm going to put them all on DTube, and I already got it set up over there. Just got a bunch of classic car videos on there right now. But if that becomes the situation, we're just going to have a quick FYI video upload here. No monetization. And I'll just tell you that I got something uploaded on DTube. Because, my channel is not really a silver channel per se. It's an everything channel, really. So, I'll take one part of it, and if they don't want me to talk about this, fine. I'll just talk about it elsewhere. But we'll see what happens. Now, first off, I want to tell you that Soros, he lost $1 billion trying to short the markets, and you're probably saying, "Oh boy, that's good." Well, yeah, that's probably good, but I think eventually he's going to win out. He has, and I know I've been saying it for the last couple years. I always figure Soros is pretty much right. I don't think he's God, but it's been pretty much an axiom since the birth of this nation that between 5 and 8 years on schedule, like every 5 or 8 years, we have a cycle in the economy where it goes up and down. We have booms and busts, and that's really what happens. Now we're on the opposite end of where it should be coming down, and I also think this because Trump made the statement when he was elected, "Make America Great Again." They're going to pull the rug out from underneath him, because right now he's bragging at look at the markets, they're all high. Well, all the global markets are at an all-time high, and they've been at an all-time high, and I'm thinking, well, the nation's got debt. The economies aren't really that good beneath the surface because, first off, you look at the railroad traffic. I talked about that before. The railroad traffic, the shipping, the Baltic Dry Index is down. There's not much retail trade going on. And I think the markets are really being held up with web bots trading with each other, right? So anyway, and it's probably not going to be good for retired people, but retired people are going to probably be like Granny over here and say, "The heck with it, we don't care, we just want to have fun." Now, one thing though, when people pushing this, I'm going to just diverge here real quick, that, when people are pushing this doom and gloom stuff, you know what? There is nothing going on today that is like really that bad. I mean, it's not. I know there's potential for bad stuff. Yes, I know that. I know there's I swear to God, they're trying to make everything communistic. I already can figure this. Soros is playing his games and all that type of stuff. I think he's going to eventually win out on shorting the markets. He lost $1 billion doing this so far, but eventually he's probably going to make $2 billion. Man, the evil thing is going to keep going till the devil gets him. His body expires. But anyway, that's another subject. Now, but we don't have any problems in this nation like has happened before. We've had way more severe problems happen in this nation in the past. I mean, it's like I am flabbergasted by these. And I know what they do. It's clickbait. They're like, the sky is falling and blah, blah, blah. The Illuminati are doing this. And you know what? I know it's been around like doing that forever. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. But, in World War II, in 40, well, as far as the United States was concerned, it was 1941 to 45. Hey, that was a dangerous time. Nobody knew if, the Nazis were going to bomb New York. Nobody knew this, right? I mean, they could have won. We could have been speaking German over here, living under totalitarian fascism. Well, I know we're kind of going that way anyway. I mean, look what happened when they had the war between the states. It wasn't a civil war because it wasn't a revolt. It's a war between the states. Now, if you extrapolate the 750,000 deaths on both sides, that would have been about 8 million people today. And that's just dead people from war. I mean, a nation survived. I mean, it's like World War One, the greatest war that ever happened. I mean, there's been way more worse things happen in the United States. I think there's something coming up bad. I agree. Now, also besides Soros sorting the markets, the other thing in my title is about the Rothschilds. They're divesting themselves away from U.S. assets, including the U.S. dollar. They're even, besides going into the euro, they're going into the British pound. Now, since Trump took office, and I'm not knocking Trump here, okay? I'm just making an observation. Even though the dollar's still high, I think the dollar index is like 90 right now, It's still being held up, like this weightlifter here, holding up the barbells. It's not, it's actually took a huge plunge since he took office. The dollar took off right at the time he got elected, but since that time, it dropped a lot. It dropped almost by a record amount. Now, if that trend keeps continuing, and I'm thinking it is, because why are the Rothschilds getting out of the dollar? And the debt situation's still going. They're still supporting the military-industrial complex and all that wonderful stuff. So, I think what's going to happen, though, eventually, and I'm going to reference this video again. Actually, it was on DTube. It was Tony Gambino talking about the mafia and how they're connected to the Vatican. Oh, that's another thing. You guys out there are always wondering about the Zionists and blah, blah, blah. They're always talking about that stuff. Well, the Vatican, the Vatican's got way more pull than any of those guys. I'll guarantee you. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to show you this video that's out there, and at 32 minutes and so many seconds, he mentions why he's saying all this stuff. He says, the government's way worse than the mafia ever was. He hopes the whole damn thing goes down. That's Tony Gambino, the grandson of Lucky Luciano, okay? So, and he's probably being, honest on that. I think he is, to tell you the truth. I think he's being straight shooter on that. Now, what's going to happen is maybe we're going to have, there's been these Indian predictions or American Native Peoples predictions that, this nation's going to go back to the way America was before the Europeans came here. It's going to go right back to, tribal communal centers. That's what's going to happen. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Now, I do know this, though. For people that are very much speculating on silver, one thing I really liked about silver, and I mentioned this many, many, many times before, is that it has medicinal properties. This is where, if you like booze or vodka or something like that is going to be worth money in a time of collapse, fine. Now, I know this because everybody wants it, even has medicinal value to it. If people, understand on a widespread scale that silver can be used to not only, for medicine where you can make colloidal silver, but it can preserve water. Like, in other words, you can have rain collection barrels, and you put a silver dollar or a couple silver dollars in the bottom of that. In other words, the pure ones, the 999 ones, and it's going to help keep the bacteria down in the water. You can help do this to preserve even like milk or something, right? Now, when people understand this, I think beyond the so-called monetary value where you say, oh, it's going to be worth this much, and you're looking at graphs and charts. If people understand that, they understand there's an everyday survivalist practical use for silver in the everyday world for disinfectant purposes, medicinal purposes, preservation of foods. In other words, maybe you can take a little colloidal silver and mix it up in, some food, right? And maybe it'll preserve it a little longer, right? So people start understanding that silver's going to have a lot of tradable value. Other because you see, people are not going to trade it because, oh, it's money and this and that, because they're going to look at it and say it's a hunk of something, you know. That actually gets, when you got a breakdown and things really bad, people want necessities. They don't want money. They want necessities. If they realize silver's a necessity with a practical value in the everyday world, like disinfectant, medicine, all that type of stuff, preserving things, then it's probably going to be worth some serious bucks in tradability. Now, the other side of it is this. I think that there's going to be a problem trading in silver at the banking system if we got this big collapse thing that everybody thinks is coming up, which I think is going to come up at one point in time. I think the elite globalists want to bring down the United States to a very low level and keep all the nations pretty much equal so they can rule. That's what they want to do. That's why they're looking to erase all these history too. That's what they're doing right now with this stuff. And I also want to give you a little heads up on something. The way the elite think is that I know, like, if you go down a bunch of steps, you go to the college professors and the liberals and all that stuff, they really believe the line. But the top people that are elitists, you know how, like, things are being pushed, like the gay agenda, the abortion agenda, the transgender rights, I don't know, the Planned Parenthood, all these different things like that, right? The immigration, people coming in and blah, 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 and all this kind of garbage, right? Or race relations and all this kind of garbage, right? All this stuff they promote that is like the liberal agenda, the elite are exactly opposite of that. They really are. They're playing a game. They're playing the Hegelian concept. Conflict produces change, so we have a conflict so we can put more rules in. But they actually are against all the things they say they're for. They are real. They're just using, like, the liberals as useful idiots. That's all they're doing, and the liberals don't even realize it. These college professors and stuff like that. Now, this chick on this bike, she probably realizes it because she's cool. I don't know. I don't even know what the heck I got this here for, because it's just a talking point. And she's got her sombrero. And, yeah, you're going to be riding around these things pretty soon if the gas price... I think, I've been saying this. The gas prices are creeping up slowly right now. I've been saying a long time. I think the gas price is going to go way up. Here you got a classic knucklehead. That'll be something good to have. And, another thing I have to say this. The toughness of each generation, boy, they've gotten, they used to say the boomers were really bad. Now, not all the boomers are screwed up. I know some people hate all the boomers, but, the boomers were, like, really conservative way back when. They really were. The boomers were in Vietnam, for one, but the deal is that each generation is getting softer and softer. Like, I'm watching something on YouTube about the 10 worst things about a Jeep, right? And to me, I know the worst thing I don't like about it is the gas mileage, Everything else I can put up with. It's like, I know if the damn gas goes up to about $8-10 a gallon, I ain't going to want a Jeep. I'll keep my Suzuki four-wheel drive thing, And, I was looking at what they're saying today, and I look back at a 1972 commercial for a CJ5 Jeep. And, you got a couple guys in cowboy hats just turning off the road. They got, I don't even know if they're wearing seat belts. All four wheels are off the ground. The guy's hat flies off. The thing's bucking and bouncing all over. It's a CJ5. It ain't even a 7, right? So it's got 10 inches less on the wheelbase, and it's not even as wide. It's not as stable or so. This is back in '72. Nobody, and no shoulder harnesses, no wrap-around type seats, just a little seat, no headrest. People are flying around here with the doors off, and that's what people wanted to do. Today, they're whining about everything. I'm like, wow. God, I don't know if I'm going to get one. I might not. Might get one. I might get one with AC in the damn thing, and but a four-cylinder. I don't know what if I'm gonna get one. I'm not sure. Kind of debating it, but I'm looking for the gas mileage. But one thing I'm really looking at more than anything as another investment is more property. Like I got my property up in Tennessee, about almost 10 acres up there in the mountains, and I want to probably get some more up in North Georgia. Because, I'm thinking about, maybe things are going south bad, and I don't want to be in an area that's gotten crowded, because where am I at right now in Florida used to be way out in county, used to be out in the boonies, used to be like 3 miles of farms behind me or 4 miles of farms, dirt road. Now they just built it up with a bunch of houses all over the place, and the woods is maybe a couple miles away or what, mile or so away. I don't like that. I don't want to be around that, and actually something you ought to be thinking about. I've also thought that people in the cities, boy, they should be getting the heck out of there. I think a lot of the bankers know this. We've even seen way back when the bankers were committing suicide or they're dying. Actually, I think they were trying to shut up people. You know what they were doing back then. That's what I'm figuring. And like I said, if D-Tube puts a little, if YouTube puts a little yellow icon on his video, and I'm already calling it BS because I looked at Russia Today, I looked at the Telegraph, ABC News, CNN, NBC, CBS, British Broadcasting, and of course I said Russia Today. They're all running ads, and they're all saying controversial stuff. Like, in other words, I don't know, they were mocking Melanie Trump because she wore high heels in Houston when she visited the flood. I was like, wow, that's a freaking real strong story to watch the major media for. I mean, I don't know what. Well, I guess the people who watch that junk are the same kind of people that bitch about the latest model Jeeps with not being comfortable enough when I'm considered they're probably like a Cadillac way back when. So I don't know, man. These people are getting to be idiots, man. That's 99% of the problem. They're not hardcore like this old girl here on a Royal Enfield, So anyway. Just want to remind you, though, probably, I think what happened during the last election, you see, I mentioned this before, it's a fact, though, during the last 20-something elections, 24 elections, I think it was, like 90 years or whatever it was, that virtually all elections, if the markets were going up, the incumbent party won, or the markets were staying strong, the incumbent party won. If the markets were going down, the challenging party won. That was pretty much, not every single time, but almost every single time in the last 90 years. I figured that the money was on Hillary Clinton, right? So I figured that's why they wanted to keep the markets up. And I figured that they're not going to bring the markets down that quick because then Trump can say it was the previous administration. I'm assuming they're going to start knocking things down a little bit in October. And it's going to continue on into 2018. And that's when you're going to see the dollar keep its trend downward in how much it's worth on comparison to other currencies. I don't know what's going to happen with gold, to tell you the truth, because for some reason, even though the dollar went down 7 points since the beginning of the year, like December of 2016, gold did not go up 7%. Right? Doesn't make sense, which tells me there's manipulation going on, which is that new news? No, that's not new news. So, if there's manipulation going on, does that not make the price unpredictable? Yeah, true. And that is why I'm going right back to what I said before. Why is silver so important? It's because it's got other value that has barter value in a practical sense. It has medicinal value when you can make colloidal silver. It has preservation effect for preservation properties for water, rain collection systems. You might need to disinfect, I don't know, medical gear or something, or anything like that, or bandages or whatever. Yeah, you can boil them, but you can also put these things in colloidal silver solution, and it'll still do the same job in a matter of several minutes, right? So it has barter potential because people would need this in a real practical way on an everyday basis if things went south bad, right? That's why I think it is a good investment. Now, I've been also probably the only silver channel that talked about palladium. Now, palladium has been going up a lot. Now, I'm going to tell you about palladium on this video. I'm not going to make a separate video. Palladium is extremely price sensitive to the markets. So I think it's over $900 right now. I didn't look at it recently, but it's like the highest it's been in a long time. Okay, I think it hit 850 in August of 2011, and then it hit 850, I don't know, a couple years ago. This is the highest it's been practically. I think the highest it ever hit was 1,050 back in '78, I think it was. And in real dollars, that would be probably, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 today or something. But I don't know exactly. But what I'm saying is, even though palladium looks like it's going up, 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 I think eventually it's going to go really, really, really high. But here's the problem. I've been thinking that Soros is going to be correct eventually, and the markets are going to come down, right? Well, palladium, being 90-something% industrial, is very price sensitive to the markets. So when the markets come down hard, palladium is going to drop like a stone. Maybe that would be the time to buy palladium, right? I mean, I think anytime you bought it, you're going to wind up being a winner on this stuff. Now, the other side of it is this. Palladium doesn't have the kind of practical everyday value like silver does. Palladium doesn't have medicinal value, you know? I mean, maybe there's going to be some high-tech... I mean, I've been hearing some wild stories about cold fusion and palladium being used in this thing. I mean, that's here or there. But as far as, you know, if you got to trade your palladium and cash it in to with a coin dealer into the banking system and say it's real high, I think by the time it's real high, they're going to have a lot of laws in place to have very high confiscating taxes on them. You're going to have excise taxes, and already they're proposing laws where you got to report, I don't know, say you got gift cards from somebody, you got to report that as cash in the bank, or if you got credits on your payments to your utility company or phone bill, you got to report that as money that you actually have. You know, they're getting really ridiculous. So there goes your underground market in, thinking you can get by and trade your metals in for cash at the banking system, and do it on a sly, whatever you want to call it. That's what a lot of people think. And then people think they're going to go ahead and trade it, directly. Palladium would be a bad investment for trading directly in like a community, because most people don't know what it is, and it's much more rare than gold even, and people aren't familiar with it. I mean, I just said that, I guess, don't know what it is. They're not familiar with it. People at least understand what's silver. They know what silver is, silver jewelry, silverware, silver, yeah, silver, whatever, silver coins. People understand that stuff. But I think beyond that, silver, like I said, has this practical thing behind it. Medicinal value, disinfectant. Say you were going to put a little bit of colloidal silver in with your clothes and you didn't have much bleach or something to knock out microbes, and you're going to wash your clothes or something by hand, and you had a little bit of soap and you want to make sure the microbes are knocked out of the clothes. Well, you can make some colloidal silver and do that, right? A lot of stuff you could do that. You could probably preserve water for months with silver coins in the bottom of a barrel. They used to do that back in the settlers, when the settlers were going west. They used to use it to preserve milk and all this other stuff, right? Ask Granny. She knows all about this stuff. So, you know, but I think palladium actually is going to wind up gaining more percentage in dollars than silver. It's just that you're going to have a problem, maybe, with taxation, with reporting requirements, and all this other stuff when you go to cash in palladium later on. I think. I am not sure. Because I'm looking at the trends right now, and what these politicians are screaming about. It's like they want everybody's, they're like vacuum cleaners. They want everybody's money. That's how I look at the, you know what, that's just as a side note, that's how I always looked at, rich people that got a real lot of money. When I worked for them before and I was their accountant, it was like, they were like vacuum cleaners. They just, any money there is, man, they get their nose out there. And I felt like I was shoveling coins into Scrooge McDuck's vault as fast as I could, being her accountant and all this kind of stuff. And no matter how much I did, they want more. Because, well, just as a little, I'll leave you with this thought, but human species is the only one that does this. You take all the animals in the planet, no matter what the hell they are, yeah, they fight, they kill each other and all this junk, and they eat each other and stuff. But say an animal has enough food, and they're not wild. Like if you start feeding a mountain lion food, right? They're not wild after a while. They become tame. They don't like try to hoard all the mountain lion food, so charge the other guys, the other mountain lions, interest, and try to starve them out and then own them. Only people do that stuff. Animals don't, if they got enough, they're okay. So, when I'm looking at this thing, it's like, with rich people, no matter how much money they got, it's like the senses of what they got a high from getting that money, it dulls real quick, and they need more. There's no limit. That's what Soros is too, man. He's like, yeah, I was thinking about making a statue of him. Like, remember that whale on a beach? I saw that picture from one time. Whale on a beach, Soros. Put a statue of Soros out there. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this. Just give you a, I was going to try to make this short, but I wound up covering more topics than I expected. But I'm giving you an all-round common sense type thing, and do expect the dollar to start dropping, because I'm assuming Rothschild knows what the heck they're doing. And, well, I assumed also Soros knew what he was doing. So far, he's lost $1 billion, but I think he's going to be correct, because we're at 8 years now. That's like really the end of that's like the limit of how long you're going to go without start going into a recession. Right? And I also think that they're going to love having a recession and the market's coming down, because it's going to make Trump look really, really, really bad, because he said make America look great again. And Obama's going to go, hey, see, it was really good when I was in. Well, that's because they were making it that way. And, of course, the all the BBC, the NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, I don't know. Fox, they're kind of like, I was watching which ones are not allowing ads on. Fox is one they don't let. I'm not too keen on Fox anyway. But Telegraph, Russia Today, all those things, Associated Press, YouTube's fine with ads on that stuff. And they run all kinds of stuff. If you do the same thing and say you had your own video footage and all that type of stuff, they'd say no. So what they're telling us about, advertiser friendly, and the advertisers are complaining, and they're probably going to manual review this thing, and they'll probably hear me say this. They're full of it. They're lying. They really are. They're using it as an excuse. They got to give you a reason why they're doing this. The reason is that the big money lost a lot of bets on Hillary, for one. I mean, how many billions did they put into the Clinton Foundation, it's all gone. Her campaign was like, even Jeb Bush, $100 million on his campaign, right? What happened to that money? Oh, it's gone. You know? Actually, the big money guys are actually asking the Clintons, what happened to money? They're probably like, I don't know. You know, Hillary had to have her hair done, and she had to go to jet over here. This, God. It's kind of funny because they did not produce the results. The Clintons did not produce the results. And I know the money's having conniptions. And I know why she lost. She didn't lose. They could have made Trump lose. She lost because of why? The internet. Because she became too much of a liability because everybody started knowing what's going on with the Clintons. I knew what was going on in the Clintons before 1992. But I had to buy papers from people that did the research. It wasn't out there. There was no internet in 1992 unless it was a bulletin board. You know, there wasn't really nothing. It was like a real text email once in a while or something. There was hardly nothing. There was no real internet around. That is why they got this thing with because like they're fine with CBS doing this and all the big names. You know, they run ads left and right. I don't know. Anyway. And, you know, if they're going to pick some advertisers for me, I don't know what they got to pick. They got to pick some down-to-earth advertisers. Like people, real ones. Like not these phony baloney ones that don't like people telling the truth, right? Whoever the hell they are. Because, you know, what's going on. I'm telling you. So, you know, if I get the yellow icon in this thing, I'm immediately going to put this video up on DTube. And my YouTube channel is going to be probably start moving away from the silver stuff, and I'm going to do the other stuff, which I'm kind of mainly doing anyway. MacGyver stuff, working on cars. As soon as it cools down a little more, but I figured mid-September, I'll be doing a lot of car work. I'll be doing a lot of videos on that. I'm going to be doing MacGyver stuff, you know how to. I know a lot of redneck stuff. And, you know, my wonderful little cats. I like those little guys, even though I know they don't get many hits. I just do this for fun. Car shows. And health videos, too. Health videos. Like, don't try to lift up too much weight at once, you know? But, you know, and probably some motorcycle videos and stuff like that. I don't know. Probably a lot of different stuff. Because my channel isn't really even about silver anyway. It's a lot of different things. You know, it's a lot of different things. So, if they find my silver videos controversial because, I don't know, I mentioned the word Soros or Rothschild or something, or Hillary, you know, their machines pick that word up. Of course, you know what the deal is, right? The machines don't pick up that word when you're talking about the big guys, right? So anyway, that's what's going to happen. This thing I'll be talking on DTube for this type of stuff, but, you know, I'll be keeping my other kind of stuff over here because if they don't like me saying stuff, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to have to go somewhere else, right? I'm going to have to take this part of what I do somewhere else. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what they do. I don't know. I have no idea because I'm totally confused by their policy, but I do know what the reality of the situation is. The big money doesn't want critics out there telling the truth. They want to shut everybody up. That's what they want to do. That's what's really going on. It's not like it's advertiser unfriendly. It ain't stopping the effective sale of the products in the least. No way. No way. It's probably helping the sale of the products. But they don't like their investments in their control slipping. That's what it is. Over and out.